Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you guys is a very important update, almost like a part 2 to the Umbral system video that I did a couple of days back, explaining to you guys how this would work. And following on from that, I actually did some tips videos, kind of how you can prepare for that, and so it's really important that I bring this update to you guys. Now, one thing to preface before we do get started, it's only right and fair that I say it out front, is that I did see a video by Video Game Databank, or Kibbles, on YouTube. He's an awesome guy, and I did see his video pop up first about 20 hours before I'm recording this video. I haven't actually watched that video yet, but I have seen that he's uploaded it first, so obviously credit to him for finding this out first and stuff like that. If you haven't seen his channel, please do go over and have a look. I will leave the video for that one linked below today, because of course he did come and see this first. He covered it first, or the first that I saw at least, and certainly before my own video. So I do want to preface that, but this is still something super important that I feel I needed to cover personally on the channel, because like I said, the advice and guidance that I gave to you guys in previous videos about how you can prepare for this update, how you can kind of get ready for it, things to be ahead of the curve, and also when I was explaining the Umbral system, actually is based around these facts. So I wanted to bring it to your attention, kind of update you guys on some things that you can be doing kind of to prepare from this new update point of view onwards. So as you can see, we're on the forums, and we've got Zin Ramu, who is a New World developer, and they have put on the feedback and bug reporting for the Umbral system. Thanks for all the feedback so far on the Umbral system. One piece of feedback that is fairly unanimous, and I think makes sense in limiting the ability to upgrade to gear score 600, is pretty onerous. We wanted to keep the value of legendary item 600s really high, but I can totally see how this is limiting and can be disheartening when you get a lot of bad RNG and haven't got your legendary roll. Fair enough. Therefore, we are looking into reducing the required minimum gear score to upgrade to 590. So you'll know that this was 600. You need the 600 to go to 625, obviously paired with your 600 level in expertise. Now they're looking at 590. Now with that, you will still need to get your expertise to 600 to unlock upgrading via the Umbral system. So even if it's a 590 item or 590 to 600 item that you're trying to upgrade, you'll still need to get your expertise to 600 before you'll unlock access to this. But once it is unlocked, you can now upgrade from 590 to 600 at a moderate Umbral cost. That allows those really good 590 to 599 rolls to become great weapons with little extra Umbral. We'll try to get this change in as soon as possible. So it's obviously something they've got on the cards. They're trying to get it in as soon as possible. Doesn't sound like it's a maybe, it sounds like a definite thing. And that is really good, because there's a lot of items I'll show you guys in game in just a second that are within that range, particularly 590 to 600, that maybe have two really good perks on, but you wouldn't have been able to upgrade them. And of course, upgrading them does things like increases your armor value, increases your damage with the weapons, increases, you know, certain stats on that piece, right? So upgrading it is super important, and honestly, some of the legendaries are just not as good as the 590 epics, so now they've kind of been saved. There's also then a follow-up question to that, which is, are they getting a new perk when they become legendary at 600? So in reference to the epics that are 590 to 599, and it says the response from that from Zin again is that they will not gain an additional perk. I think that that would potentially devalue the legendary items and the chase for them too much. Once players level up mutators or their expertise, they will be able to earn a fair amount of Umbral shards quickly, so they could potentially upgrade a lot of 590 plus items in the hunt for a good perk roll. We don't want the Umbral system to be a source for new gear, but rather a path to upgrade, which I actually think is a very good way to do it. Don't make them become legendary, don't get that third perk, but do allow us to get some really good epics up to 625, so that if you get a best in slot legendary, or a very good legendary at least with 3 decent perks on, it's still going to be a little bit above, because you've got that extra stat, you've got that extra perk on there. Maybe you get the extra stat still even from upgrading this, but that extra perk can be really pivotal, particularly if it's something at least useful, even if it's not best in slot. But it still gives a lot of extra bonus to those, and they should be rarer, right, because they should be more expensive and such. So I like the way that this is doing it, but they're still going to allow us to compete with the epics, because obviously they're much more frequent, and of course we can all kind of craft those as a guaranteed decent thing with the timeless shards now. So this is actually a really good method and good kind of system in my opinion, and I kind of just wish they brought it out with 590, but at least before it's fully released, that has been changed. Now going into game and having a look at how this will impact us, well, of course, if you've got things like, you know, this Yokothe here, which is obviously a weaponsmith in 200 max level craft. It's a 600, but it's got Sundering Shockwave, it's got Chain Void, and it's got Keenly Empowered. Really, you want Sundering Shockwave on the armor pieces. Chain Void is not really anything too special, and Keenly Empowered is decent, but again, you're really using this for CC rather than anything else unless you are playing the Bruiser build. So for me, that's kind of, you know, it's not too important. But when I've got something like this Life Staff, which is really, really good, it's got Refreshing Divine's Embrace, Rally, and Blessed. Obviously, if I could get a 3-perk one with Blessed, potentially a weapon perk again, you could really get those on the armor, so, but you know, potentially 3 good perks on this Life Staff, then of course that would be really good. But because this is 598, that means I can now add a couple of bits of Umbral onto it once I do get to 600 expertise. Then I can get up to 600, make it to then 625 from that, and this can go up in stats, in damage, in etc, whatever else it does, and that will be really, really good because it means I can still have a very, very solid option until I can either find or buy that best in slot legendary weapon. And it does actually mean that their value for legendaries is going to increase even more, particularly ones you can sell, because if you can get a really, really good one, people are really going to want it because they can upgrade it, they can stick with it, and they can make it even better, which is absolutely amazing. Now, one really important thing to note is, again, of course, you're going to be able to do the same with armor, the same with jewelry. I'm not too sure how jewelry gets affected at the moment because I don't know if stats go up from this. We know that with armor, you do get increases to the armor rating of both the elemental and physical, and with your weapons, you do see some increase to the damage, the modifiers, etc, which is really, really good. But jewelry is still unclear, so I'll bring you guys a bit more in-depth info on that when we do see it. But one really important thing is going to be to note that if you are like me and you've maybe got 590 across the board on the armor side, but some of the weapons, because I've been switching up my build, I've been trying different things out. I mean, this is 549. I need to get this up to 590 before this update drops so that I can straight away try to get that to the 600 mark and then increase it. Because pretty much everybody should be rocking 590 plus slotted items at this point. And if you're in that end game phase where you're going to be pushing these mutations and this 625 gear score, you should definitely be having 590 plus in every slot. As you can see, my average is 595. The only exception maybe is this Infinity Crystal, as it is really, really good. And it's going to be a shame for a lot of us to not be able to upgrade that bad boy. But I'm sure we can find something just as good, or we're going to have to make it. Because, of course, we can't actually upgrade that one. But things like this Life Staff, things like these leggings, we are going to need to get these leveled up so that we've got the gear score. As you can see, 590 is great. I just need a couple of days once this comes out to get that to 600. And then, depending how lucky I get with the drops, can start leveling that up with Umbral Shards from that point onwards. But then with the weapons, you're going to want to make sure you get all of those ones that you are going to use or are potentially going to use all the way up to that 590 mark, so that as soon as this drops, you've got the opportunity to start leveling things up ASAP and start to get yourself a really, really good set. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed this quick update. I just thought it'd be really, really important to bring you guys kind of a part 2 almost to those videos that I have been making over the past week and give you guys the most up-to-date information, because it is super, super important to know. Like I said at the start of the video, it is something that I've seen covered before on YouTube here, made in the last sort of day or so, but I wanted to bring you guys a little summary of what my thoughts on it are, and of course how it applies to the videos I've made personally on this, so that everybody is really, really up to date and has the most accurate knowledge that we can find at the moment. This could be the case going forward as well with some of the PTR changes, so stay tuned to the channel because I will update as and when I need to with that one. But other than that, guys, that is going to be it for today's video, so I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please do make sure you drop a subscribe down below if you are new to the channel, and drop a like if you've enjoyed today's video. And other than that, I will catch you again tomorrow on tomorrow's upload. Take care, guys, and peace.